Welcome to our YouTube channel, Learn to Teach Machine. Please subscribe and click the bell button. Types of machine learning systems. Broadly categorized into three types. Type 1. Whether or not they are trained with human supervision. Machine learning systems can be classified according to the amount and type of supervision they get during training, and there are four major categories: supervised learning, unsupervised learning, semi-supervised learning, and reinforcement learning. Let's look at each of these criteria a bit more closely. Supervised learning. Example: email spam detector. The training data you feed to the machine algorithm includes the desired solutions, called labels, spam and ham. It is trained with many example emails, along with their class, spam or ham, and it must learn how to classify new emails, and it is a classification problem in supervised learning. Another example, car price predictors. Based on the given set of car features, mileage, age, brand, etc., and it is a typical task of a regression problem, is to predict a target numeric value. Some of the most important supervised learning algorithms: k-nearest neighbors, linear regression, logistic regression, support vector machines, decision trees, random forests, and neural networks. Unsupervised learning. The training data is unlabeled. The system tries to learn without a teacher. Some of the most important unsupervised learning algorithms: clustering, visualization and dimensionality reduction, anomaly detection and novelty detection, association rule learning. Important. Another separate video describes unsupervised cluster learning in detail. YouTube link available in the description of this video. Some algorithms can deal with data that's partially labeled, are called semi-supervised learning. Example: Google Photos, photo hosting services. Once you upload all your family photos to the Google Photos service, it automatically recognizes that the same person A shows up in photos 1, 5, and 6, while another person B shows up in photos 2, 5, and 7. Now all the system needs is for you to tell it who these people are. Just add one label per person. Srini, Gunnar, Kalai, and it is able to name everyone in every photo. Kalai, Gunnar, Srini, Kalai, Gunnar, Kalai, Srini, Gunnar, Kalai, Srini, Srini, Gunnar, and which is useful for searching photos. Important: most semi-supervised learning algorithms are combinations of unsupervised and supervised algorithms. Next topic: reinforcement learning. The learning system, called an agent in this context, can observe the environment, select and perform actions, and get rewards or penalties in the form of negative rewards in return. In other words, in reinforcement learning, agents are trained on a reward and punishment mechanism. The agent is rewarded for correct moves and punished for the wrong ones. In doing so, the agent tries to minimize wrong moves and maximize the right ones. AlphaGo program is also a good example of reinforcement learning. It made the headlines in May 2017 when it beat the world champion KGA at the game of Go. It learned its winning policy by analyzing millions of games and then playing many games against itself. Note: learning was turned off during the games against the champion, KGA. AlphaGo was just applying the policy it had learned. Type 2. whether or not they can learn incrementally on the fly. Another criteria used to classify machine learning systems is whether or not the system can learn incrementally from a stream of incoming data. Online versus batch learning. In batch learning, the system must be trained using all the available data, then it is launched into production and runs without learning anymore. It just applies what it has learned. This is also called offline learning. In online learning, a model is trained and launched into production, and then it keeps learning as new data comes in on the fly. Online learning is great for systems that receive data as a continuous flow. And the best example is stock prices. Type 3. Whether they work by simply comparing new data points to known data points. Instance-based versus model-based learning. Let's look at each of these criteria a bit more closely. Instance-based learning, the system learns the examples by heart, then generalizes to new cases by using a similarity measure to compare them to the learned examples. For example, the new instance coming in the slide would be classified as a triangle because the majority of the most similar instances belong to that class, 2 triangles and 1 square, so the majority is triangle. This is called instance-based learning. The system learns the examples by heart, then generalizes to new cases by using a similarity measure to compare them to the learned examples. Another way to generalize from a set of examples is to build a model of these examples and then use that model to make predictions. This is called model-based learning. I hope this video given an overview of machine learning systems. Let's look at each of the learning methods a bit more closely in upcoming videos on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.